Hey kids, it is Hexray Vision coming to you live from Cuatro Cinco Studios with Nate Stakes, up and coming Hexagon and YouTube streamer. If you haven't followed him and subscribed, jump on YouTube, give him a follow, subscribe, hit the likes up button, and just go through all of his videos. He's got some really good information on there for since when did you start the channel, Nate?
I think like in March. Maybe
March.
I would have to look to be exact. It's not been really a year yet. But
yeah. Up and coming, another guy that will definitely pass me in subscriptions. And then of course we've got someone who does not want you to subscribe or like his videos.
Not worth it.
Brandon, the mayor of Sassy City, the Grand Ayatollah,
Supreme
Ayatollah,
Supreme. I done told you.
What's up? We got the regular people in chat. We got Crypto Heartbeat, who is already correcting me. I got the thumbnail says Texas. Pay no attention to that spelling. It is the Texan token that we're talking about today, and some other coins in the Richard Hart ecosphere that we're going to be going over. We got Alex. We got Yup K. Just hanging out. This is great. Are you guys going to Vegas? It's a great question. I'm going to be going to Vegas. I'm going to try to get there on Tuesday. And then I think, Rags, you got your flight booked, right?
Yeah, flight booked. I'll probably be there Sunday evening.
Awesome. And then Nate Stakes, he's actually in, you live in India, right?
Yeah.
He lives in India. No, he lives in Vegas. He's a Vegas hooligan. So he's just got to take like a mannequin to work and put his hat on and shove it in the corner so they don't know he's dipping out to come hang out with us.
I think hat is close, but not quite there.
Exactly.
I got a big cranium. I got a big dome piece. Most hats don't do well with my head.
Yeah, same. Absolutely. It's kind of annoying.
Dude, Nate, so here's how I found out about you. So I go on YouTube and I'm like, well, Matt and I have launched this token. Let me see if anybody on YouTube has made a video about it yet, other than Hexray. So I'm searching Texan token and dude, you came up, man. I saw you, man. Good for you. Taking the bull by the horns and putting it out there. Good job, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. You're going to be one of many, I assure you. So good job, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it. I got pretty excited about the Texan token and kind of dug into that as I heard about it from Rags and Heartbeat, and I just started to pick it apart and try to figure out some different strategies to use it and get into the game theory. And I made a scraping ladder that's actually in the Telegram of Texan token. It is incorrect, so. There's quite a few things that I got incorrect about the Texan token.
It's my fault. Just to let you guys know, it's not his fault. It's my fault. I gave him some. I didn't give him. I don't communicate well sometimes, so I apologize, Hexray.
No, that's totally fine because the information that I found out kind of changes some of the strategies and some of the game theory around this token. And so we'll be going over that as well, and some of the things I got wrong about the contract, and that we'll be going into that pretty soon. The other thing, I've been tracking down all of my onboards lately, and having them look up their Hedron. Right? I'm like, hey, how much Hedron are you sitting on? Is it worth the fees to mint? Is it worth putting to work in Icosa? Is it worth putting to work in the Whatsa NFTs? And so I've been trying to keep up on all of that. Have you guys squared away your Hedron Icosa yet?
I've made my play, but I'm not a big player in that ecosystem, so it's like I had to strategize my own way, Yeah. So at first, I went with the Whatsa. The first day, it was a big chunk. You know what I mean? And then there wasn't that many people in, and now there's a lot. And we'll see. I think I'm treating it as a long-term play. And then just in my mind, stacking away all the Hedron that I build off my stakes and then using that to buy HSI stakes that expire or trying to. Because like if a whale comes in and outbids me, I'm not going to compete. I'm not going to push it and waste my Hedron. I'd rather just restake what I have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good play for the newer people. What about you, Brandon? You've been putting it to work.
Yeah, I kind of did some calculations, and I know that Alex and a couple other folks suggested that you create multiple NFTs.
Mm-hmm.
I created one giant one, and here's my theory behind that. I just think that I can outlast everybody else in that pool. And I'm a competitive person, so it's in a weird way, like not even the money part. That's not what motivates me. I'm competitive, so I want to beat everybody in that pool. So I went big. I went big the second day. I missed out the first day, and that stinks because there was a lot of yield that went out that day. So, but it's okay. I'm in there. I'm participating. It's like an auto compounding feature every single time somebody gets out of it. So I think it's going to be really cool to see how that plays out, especially in the bull market when all these people start early in staking, or selling rather. And then I've got a lot of Hedron staked, so I'm happy about that too. Yes. So I've been pretty prideful, and I've been kind of bragging about the fact that I told my community to get in there pretty much on day one with Hedron, and it's worked out very well for everybody thus far. Let's hope it keeps working out and I don't have to eat my words. I don't think it's gonna be a bad thing, guys.
Yeah, I'm picturing you as this pale kid at the pool where you have those contests where you hold your breath the longest. Oh yeah, I'm picturing you like just taking on water and just floating, in the deep end of the pool.
I'm the pale kid with the galaxy brains. So what you do really quick, like before the contest starts, you take in a lot of air and you go to the ladder. And you know how the ladder, there's like a little pocket that you can blow air up into, and it holds it. So you can blow air into underneath each one of the ladder rungs, and then you can stay underwater for a couple minutes by sucking the air back in.
I don't know. Cool. That might be carbon dioxide that you're actually
No, you got to do it fast. You got to get in and out. It doesn't convert as quick as you might think.
This explains a lot about some of the way your brain functions these days.
Oh, like the dead cells, the neurons, cells. Right? Okay, yeah.
Oh man, Goldman Hex has a good one in here. Launching the California token, ticker symbol TAX. It's pretty funny, like that. Facing realities in the house. Elbow cough. Jack Handy, what's up? Godfather J6. Stake your Hedron. It's free, other than gas, and you'll earn Icosa. Then staking Icosa will earn you more Icosa and Hedron. Sounds like a win, and all you got to do is stake some Hex. So that's awesome. Rag's been preaching Hedron for some time. People been listening. What's funny is there's OG Hexicans that have been around for quite a while, and they don't understand Hedron and Icosa yet. I've had a few of them reach out and be like, hey, when we're in Vegas, I need you to explain this to me.
I'm upset.
And I'm like, okay, stake it in the meantime. Then I'll explain it to you, bro.
When in doubt, stake it out. Like, just fuck. It's easy. The worst thing, though, you lose when you sell. That's the rule. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got Simba 369. Is Texan the Hex killer? I would tell you to invite you to go check out mine and Nate's video that we just did, where we talk about the parts of Texan and Hex that complement each other, and the parts that obviously are completely different when it comes to the community, the founders, the game theory. There's like 7 huge differences, I think, between the two tokens. But like I said, I think they complement each other. What do you guys? How would you say that?
Well, if we want trustless, immutable, no admin keys, and we want multiple instruments on the Pulse chain that will allow people to prosper, I think all of these sorts of projects can live in conjunction with each other and really complement each other, because you can just move your yield from one project to another and just keep compounding everything. I think that's awesome. In Hex, I'll say this, Hex in terms of marketing is far ahead of where Texan is right now. Far ahead. So it's going to be really cool to see Hex take off. And it's going to be really cool to see Hex leading the way for all these other new projects that are launching on Pulse Chain. So Is Texan the hex killer? I would say no. I think they are in a symbiotic relationship.
Right. And one of the big differences is the Hexkin community is one of the most tight-knit and best educated crypto people on earth. Mm-hmm. And the Texan community has still got to go over that learning curve. And maybe Rags and I'll touch on that at the end, sometime towards the end of the stream. We're hoping to go down there and get some education to the people of Texan when it comes to crypto. We got Bob here. Hey, do you recommend buying kryptonite? Yes. If you're Lex Luthor, you should definitely buy some kryptonite. You got David Lee. Hey, y'all. When Vegas? Vegas is September 6th through the 9th, man. And then Icosa seems inflationary. Maybe Alex should copy PZen, give half of the yield to the holders and half to burn Icosa. Maybe. I would say he probably doesn't want to copy their code exactly yet until it's got everything wrinkled, all the wrinkles ironed out. Excited to see the updated ladder. It says Hex Force 1. Crypto Sloth, yo. Good to see you in the house. Another person that passed me up in subscribers. That's good to see. Let me add Nate back here. But sir, Con canceled, he says. You know what? I wouldn't say that I was going to Vegas for the conference itself. Bob says he's going to pick up some more of that kryptonite. Apparently he's got something going down with Superman later. Crypto Sloth, LOL. This is great. So let's go back here to Icosa really quickly.
Yeah, can I hear you guys' thoughts on Icosa, please?
Definitely.
Yeah.
So we had this beautiful gift given to us, which was the Hedron token, right? If you had staked Hex, then you were given one Hedron token per day, per B share. So every day, if you had a B share, you get one Hedron token, gifted to you. Mm-hmm. And during the beginning of the launch, there was actually a bonus. So you could get up to 10x bonus on the first week, I believe, or it was the first few days, and then it went down to right now you're not getting any bonus if you're claiming it. So you could claim it and you could mint it. And at the beginning, it really wasn't worth anything to mint it unless you had like really fat stacks and you'd been there for a while and you claimed your bonus, and then it was finally worth the ETH fees to mint. So we got all this Ethereum, and of course the OA address and a bunch of wells had so much insane supply that just by dumping a little bit, like not even all of theirs on the market, it just tanked the price to multiple zeros after the decimal point, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of us looked at that and we were saying like, well, you know what? Like, let's give this coin 5 years. This is definitely like a let it grow kind of coin because it's going to take a while for the B shares to become more scarce and for the coin to become more scarce. And so that happened. And then Alex, the creator of Hedron, came up with a way to stake your Hedron. So not only were you given this Hedron as an airdrop, but you could also create an HSI stake or a Hedron stake. And that Hedron stake is transferable, whereas the regular stakes on the native blockchain are not transferable, right? Like that stake that you make in Hex is stuck with the MetaMask address or the Ethereum address, right? It's like cement. You're not moving it. But the HSI contracts, those stakes, you can actually sell as an NFT. Mm-hmm. So you could actually create those and get a loan on your Hedron. Now, nobody was taking a loan on their Hedron because Hedron wasn't worth anything in the beginning, right? Like you're just going to lose your money. And after 90 days of not paying back your loan, it would auction off your Hex stake to people with Hedron, right? And so Alex realized he had to jumpstart this whole system in a big way. And so he wrote another smart contract, the Icosa contract. And basically he was like, hey, if you guys start to sacrifice all these HSI stakes, the wrapped Hex stakes, then I'm going to give you this Icosa coin and you can stake that Icosa coin and it's going to pay out Icosa, and it's also going to pay out Hedron. So it gave you basically a way to earn yield off of the Hedron, which at that time wasn't earning any yield, right? And so people just started sacrificing all of these HSI stakes to the Icosa address to get Icosa and play that game. And now when all of those stakes go up for auction, all the Hedron that people bid on it, because you got to use Hedron in the auction to get people's, stakes.
Yeah.
That's all going to be burnt. So basically, he's created a vacuum and a wildfire for the Hedron ecosystem, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the Icosa ecosystem, right? How's that sound so far? I mean, that's way over the head of like 99.999 people on Earth, but someone that understands hex, how does that sound to you, Nate?
I mean, you simplified it. Yeah.
I don't think I did. I think I tried.
Because it's a complex system. It's a feedback loop. They all benefit hex. It's really sick. It's one day T-shares are going to get so expensive that you're not going to be able to afford them, the average person. So they're going to want to buy HSI stakes. So you're going to want exposure to Hedron. So you might as well stake it and earn more of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a whole feedback,
Sounds like a scam to me.
Yeah, it's a good scam. Really, really good scam.
I love these good scams.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that was it. And then there was one other moving piece. So you can stake Hedron, and that will pay you Icosa, or you can stake Icosa, and that will pay you both Hedron and Icosa. And then for 14 days you can go on there and you can donate or sacrifice about 6 different tokens to the We Are All the SA address. So every coin you put in there, and I think there's like Hex, USDC, Ethereum, Icosa, Hedron. If you put these into there, you're never going to get them back as long as you live, but they're going to give you an NFT, right? And you can only get these NFTs for 14 days. And once you sell or unwrap that NFT, you can never get another one. So it's kind of like breaking open a piggy bank, or kind of like smashing open a piñata. So you go in there, you put all these, you donate, and it gives you a certain percentage of the payout every day, kind of like a B share and a T share. They call them points, but they're based on the same kind of thing. They have B's and M's and T's. And you get daily yield from whatever's going on in the ecosystem. And it's kind of like a game of chicken, where it's like, who's going to open theirs the first and cash out? Almost, it's like holding your breath underwater and sucking carbon dioxide out from under the rungs of a ladder and hoping that you don't end up like rags to riches when you grow up, right? It's that competitive, like, let's see who flinches first, right? So a lot of people are doing that. I believe that those will hopefully, they should grow in value if they're earning yield. But my guess is that in the future, they're actually going to wrap those NFTs in another contract and pay you yield for not smashing open your piggy bank and smashing open your piñata. And that is just me. Don't take my word for that. That's just a guess. That may never happen.
Would you say
no expectation for the works of others and all that stuff. What's up?
Speculating, would you say that is just because the price appreciation would cause people to sell and put the pressure down on the market?
Well, yeah. I mean, the purpose of a T-share is to be a vacuum for Hex, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the T-shares vacuum all the Hex off the market, and that holds the price up. And then Icosa is a vacuum that sucks all of the Hedron off the market, burns it or locks it up, keeps it off the market, holds the price up. So basically you have vacuums of vacuums, right? You got a vacuum that sucks up other vacuums, and it just, hopefully will help the whole ecosystem of all the coins, because the less coins on the market, higher the price, right?
Yeah. I'm kind of sad how expensive the Hex T-share is. If you think about it, I mean, man, because I hear about when the OGs bought it for like cents or whatever. It's so crazy. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, we got Torn in the house. Goldman Hex says, but do we wrap poor pleb win? I actually don't know if you, but how do we wrap poor pleb win? I don't know if you can wrap poor pleb win. I haven't gone into the game theory or the tokenomics of poor pleb win yet. You guys know anything about that?
I just know it's the PP token and it's a good meme coin because of that reason. And they have like a whole like cartoon and skit or whatever.
Simba says all these sacks, I'm almost out of moolah. How about however much are they paying for testicles these days? I think it's a couple thou. I read a Men's Health article once where you can sell those if you're not using them anymore.
I just went to a Chinese restaurant.
All right, great. Why doesn't the Texan token ever retweet the TNM? Should do that more. Yep, Kay says.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We have I've got a guy that I've been training, and I kind of let him loose like last week. So we're just kind of working on one piece of content at a time, but that is a good idea, and that will start happening.
We got Samantha in the house. Have you guys heard of her?
You guys know
who this lady is?
Freaking wreck. She's a wreck pleb.
She runs circles around everybody in the Telegram groups. I'm like, she does not sleep. I thought she moved to like Ethiopia or something like that until the hex went back up.
I don't know. I couldn't answer that for you.
This might not be a bad move.
Yeah, Kay says she's offended.
Save up.
Now, Samantha, if you're a cop, you have to tell us you're a cop. You know that, right?
Well, she's a vegan. That's bad enough. So that's what it is.
God.
She likes that. She likes that. All right. So going off of when you go from the Icosa token to the Texan token right here, let's talk about a couple things that I got wrong when I was thinking about this. My understanding of the treasury address in Texan token was that it maintained a 3% liquidity and 97% treasury ratio throughout the life of Texan token.
Mm-hmm.
So in my mind, this token, the contract was kind of like the T-share rate, right? So the T-share contract, every day it looks back and sees if anyone got a better payout than the last person. And whatever the best payout is for the T-shares, it changes that to the T-share rate. So that's why every day it takes more and more hex to get a T-share. And in my mind, I thought maybe that's what they had done in the Texan token. But then like my friend who's better at math than me is like, that doesn't make sense. He's like, that doesn't add up. And so I was like, well, that's how I understand it. And then Crypto Heartbeat jumped on, and on one of his streams he addressed it. He said, no. Every time you make a stake in the Texan token, it earmarks those coins in the treasury.
Mm-hmm.
So that, those are yours, right? And then if you happen to emergency end stake, your penalties are burnt from the total supply.
Correct.
So there will come one day in the future when all of the tokens in the treasury are earmarked, and that's it. There's no more stakes.
Right. So you've got 97% at launch. When you go and make a stake, the system's going to calculate how much is going to belong to you to a T. You're going to know exactly how much. All right. It's going to calculate it. It's going to grab it. It's going to take it out. And it's going to also burn that out of supply. So it's going to kind of push that event forward, kind of in a similar way that Hex pushes that event forward. However, if you do early in stake, if you have something like that, it is going to take those tokens and it's going to burn them forever. It's not going to be redistributed to an OA. It's not going to be redistributed to staking class. It's just gone. All right. So the other cool thing is, if at some point that you decide, you don't want to early in stake, but you can actually scrape. So the neat thing about scraping is when you want to have access, instead of either early in staking or really instead of having to end your stake completely, you can just scrape. So it's actually less of sell pressure on Texan token, given the fact that we do allow people to just scrape, and you can keep your principal locked up and not have to go through extra steps to unstake, take your money, then restake, pay the gas fees, do all that. So it's a very, very smooth process there. And again, It's like a gold mine. There's only so much gold. There's only so much staking ability out there. So you got to get it while it's there, because the contract will not let you stake if there is not enough in that locked contract.
Right. And so you guys were estimating based on human behavior and the parameters, that this may all be earmarked somewhere between 50 and 100 years.
50 and 100 years. Now that's just based on similar projects that we've seen. If we have an instance where Pulse Chain absolutely blows up and Hex becomes popular and this ecosystem becomes extremely popular, that could dwindle pretty quickly. Right now, it's not really a worry, but it could be in the future. Now, when I say worry, I mean FOMO. It's really, really good for the people who are staked, and it's really, really bad for the people who kind of, drag their feet on it because they're not going to get that yield. All right. So, and here's the thing: as price goes up, if you're staked, man, you're really winning. You're winning in a really, really big way. Price appreciation will occur. Most of gains occur from price appreciation, but it's just amplified and multiplied by the fact that you would receive some sort of yield from your principal there.
Yeah, and Simba asks, can you see a 100 bagger on Texas in year one? I'm guessing that's a 100x is a 100 bagger.
Well, Rags to Riches doesn't like to make forward-looking price statements.
Let me answer that. You can get 5% of the token to scrape after the first year, right? Like that's guaranteed. If you stake it, you can get 5%. As far as the price is concerned, yeah, go ahead.
Now, is he talking about X's? How many
I
X's?
think he is. I'm just guessing. He can jump on here. I don't know what baggers are. And then he also asks, did you say Texan is deflationary? Yes, it is.
Texan is deflationary because if somebody in stake early, and we know that people do it all the time, all of that is going to be burned.
Yep. Kay says Texan should do a 3D printer giveaway and sponsor a 3D gun competition.
ATF, we're coming in hot.
I also wanted to tell you that I gave Samantha and about 8 other people wrenches while you were talking.
Oh,
because this is the communist version of wrenches. If you show up and I recognize your name or you just say something nice, you're getting a wrench here. Wrenches are easy to come by in my community. I'm the opposite of
buy people.
Rags will take your wrench if he just wakes up angry one morning. He is so stingy with those wrenches. I tried bribing him for one, and I think that may have made my chances of ever getting one go to zero.
It's a meritocracy on my channel, bro. We don't just give that stuff out. It's valuable. I think we have 10 admins. That's it.
Yeah,
in 18 months.
Now Samantha wants to know if her wrench is a bribe. No, you're just one of the community now, Samantha. Goldman, sir, how do we join the stream? We might open that up here after we go over some of the other information we want to get over, and then we might bring someone on. But for right now, we're just going to jump through these right here, and then now that's a good segue into the scraping ladder. So I came up, rugged myself, Hexray. All right, and then we got David Bonnet and channel. You're good looking, Hexray. Thanks, David. Appreciate that. I think that's his way of asking for a wrench. So I came up with this scraping ladder, understanding that this was just went off the straight yield bond, right? The yield curve. And then I was listening to, again, Crypto Heartbeat. That's where I find out everything I believe is wrong. And he was saying, no, it accumulates, right? Like it's exponential. So for instance, year one, your tokens will earn 5%. Year two, they'll earn 6%. Year three, they'll earn 8%. And so I thought as long as you held in, you were just getting the extra percent, 2%, 3% extra. But you're actually getting all of those. So you're getting, instead of it growing to 8, it's 5 plus 6 plus 8 plus 11. Mm-hmm. And then I said, I've got to change all the math on my chart because that changes everything. That actually means that the return on tokens that I was quoting in the first charts is 2 to 9x low, depending on the year.
And here's how we're able to do that. It's because we're launching with our total.
You made the correct face, Nate. That's the correct face for knowing that you're actually getting 2 to 9x
That's crazy.
On your interest. Sorry, go ahead. So,
I love potential. Yeah, go ahead, Ray.
The reason that we're able to do that is because there are no parameters for inflation with this project. So we can launch with the total amount of token, and then we can calculate from there, and we can the contract can handle these types of, for lack of a better word, insane gains when it comes to yield, because it's just calculating it there, and eventually there will be no more. So that's what's cool about this.
Yeah, for sure. And so let's go over my strategy that I first presented and how it's changed since I realized that the tokens are going up exponentially, right? So here is my scraping ladder updated. So in the first scraping ladder, actually,
take this banner off so people can see it. All right.
Boom.
And then also you can choose the full screen setting for that if need be.
Let me see if I can do that here. Full screen, remove audio, edit. Nope. Let's try this again. And it just said there. Is that full screen now?
Pretty much full screen. That's fine. That's okay.
It's pretty big. Okay, so as you can see, the original one, you can see that on the Texan token yield curve, that the darker numbers are what you're actually getting at the end of your year one. So you can see the 5, 6, 8, 11, 15. And what I did was I went in and I actually added all these as they were accumulating, right? So you can see the lighter gray in parentheses goes 5, 11, 19, 30, 45. Oh yeah, and then on year 22, it's 1,881% yield. So yeah, that's
might be actually a little bit higher.
That's an 18.81x right there. If you were not to, if you stake these coins and you didn't scrape for 22 years, you're getting an 18x on your coins out of that stake. And so my original idea, because I didn't think that you could scrape 33% till year 8, right? So my suggestion was to hold 10% of your bag liquid for the first 7 years in case you needed to sell any, and then wait till year 8 and scrape 33%. But as you can tell, if you wait till year 8, the end of year 8, you'll actually be scraping 124%, right? Or sorry, at the end of it, at the beginning of it, it'd be 91%.
Yeah.
So you could scrape basically all your original tokens at the end of year 9 or at the beginning of year 10. You scrape 124% of your original tokens out and then let the rest ride. Now, every time you scrape, you can scrape once I think you can scrape once a year, right?
Yeah, and this is total yield combined, just like Crypto Heartbeat says, folks. Just to let everybody know.
Yeah, so this is if you don't scrape it. That's where it goes, up this chart. And so if you were to do more than one stake, my idea is to do 10 stakes of varying sizes. And then you scrape the biggest stake first, and then you go all the way down the 10 stakes, scraping it to the smallest one, because that would give the smallest one. So, for instance, in year 17, you could scrape 760% off of your 10th stake if you started in year 8. Right?
That's just off yield. That's not off price appreciation, right?
No, this isn't including price appreciation. All this is just the number of tokens that you have.
That's that's very nice.
Now, because I found
that's a cool function.
Yeah, and now in theory, I did the math, and it's probably wrong, but it's close, I guess.
Okay.
If there's 3% are going to be liquid at the beginning of Texan token.
Hold on. Somebody just said they thought you could scrape monthly. Actually, you can actually.
Oh, sorry. You can scrape daily.
Scrape daily, yeah. Just let you know.
But you're staking in yearly increments, not daily increments. I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's going to say, it's basically just going to give you options of 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, but you can scrape every day. obviously, with the fees, there's probably not going to be worth it to scrape every day. So there's that. And then the other thing I was going to say was, if you were to lock, let's say that everyone that had the liquid Texan token locked it for 22 years, right? All 3% is locked 22 years. If nobody scrapes for 22 years, that would actually pull about 57% of the coins out of the treasury on year 22. So on year 22, you would have 60% liquid and 40% locked in the treasury. Now, obviously, human behavior being what it is, that's never going to happen. But it kind of gives you an idea of, this is kind of like a land grab, right? Like I was picturing that old movie, Far and Away, with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, how he's like going out and basically getting like killed trying to stake his land, because eventually this is all going to be staked. It's all going to be earmarked out, right? And depending on how heavy people go in staking it, depends on how quickly it gets earmarked, right?
Yep.
And so
now,
go ahead.
I want to show you guys too, because some of you guys might not have seen the testnet. They might not see what's going on here. So I'm going to share this real quick, share screen. And I want to give you guys an idea of how simple this really is. Super, super simple here. Yeah, there it is. Share. You guys got that? I think you might have to add it.
There you go.
Cool. There it is.
Boom.
So this is the really neat thing about this is, again, you can tell the system exactly how much that you want to stake. So let's say, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's say 1 million Texan, and you want to do it for 22 years. It creates this chart on the side here that will show you exactly how much yield you will earn if you do this to its completion. So in this case, off of 1 million, you would be earning about 18,848,624. So it will tell you exactly how much, and you can change all these parameters, different years, all of that. You can show years, or you don't have to show years, but it's super, super simple for anybody who wants to play around with this. And it will show you to the decimal how much you will earn.
And you'll notice that the 22 years adds up to almost exactly 1881, right?
Yeah.
Ba-boom.
So somebody says Simba 369, if I stake 5,000 for 22 years without scraping. Well, the problem is we have to speak in terms of Texan, right? And we don't really know what that's going to be. But let's just say $5,000 just hypothetically got you 500 million token, all right, on day one when there was no price really. 500 million token, let's say. So we were to go 500, 1, 2, 3. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we'll add another 0. So yeah, we'll hit that for 22 years. We'll do 21, 22. It would say off of that 500 million, you'd be earning about 9 billion tokens. So that's what's pretty neat about this. This is the importance of getting into this thing early, guys. Getting into this thing early and staking early, as early as possible.
Wow.
Nice.
Now, if we took that amount, let's just say this, okay? Let's say the amount earned, let's just say apply some fake number to this, some fake value. So we'll take this and we would, let me delete this. You guys can't see that, can you? Calculator. All right. Times. I mean, hypothetically, off $5,000 with no price appreciation, at bare minimum prices, it'd be pretty close to $100,000 with you doing absolutely nothing. Just with these fake made up numbers that we're using. And if you took that number and factored in price appreciation, it could potentially be much, much higher.
Let me ask you a question about the airdrop or the claim phase, right? You and Heartbeat mentioned that you guys would like to offer a claim to people that are staked in Hex or have sacrificed for the Pulse or PulseX airdrop,
yes.
right? And that's going to be a claim phase. People are probably going to have to go claim that. It's not just going to automatically show up in their wallet to be forgotten or lost. Correct. And what do you guys are hoping that the percentage of participation is going to be in that claim phase?
Well, I don't know as a percentage of how many wallets. There's going to be a whole lot more people who claim than people who donate. I know that for sure. All right. So if we look at other projects, we're looking anywhere, let's say out of 140,000 wallets, or let's say, probably about 140, 150,000 wallets between Hex folks, between PulseX sacrificers, Pulse Chain sacrificers. Let's just estimate somewhere between 25 and 50,000, maybe about 30 to 40,000 people actually participate. That could be kind of what I'm thinking there. So 30 to 40,000 that actually claim. Now I'll say this too. There've been some developments that a lot of people aren't aware of. The first development is we're out of three. All right, top three wallets, right? Top three wallets now will receive 150% more. And that's a change. All right. So initially we were gonna just bless people and say, all right, you're gonna get a double. Well, now you're gonna get 150% more instead of 100% more for the top three wallets. Now for wallets 4 through 10, those folks are now going to receive a double as well. So that's what's neat. And the other thing, big announcement that we spoke about, is the fact that if you donate, there's no bonding curve anymore. Everybody gets 10,000 to 1. Every single person, whether they donate crypto or they donate cash, from this point moving forward and retroactively, will receive 10,000 to 1 moving forward. You might say,
Wait, whoa.
Yep.
I didn't catch. Was that the one you guys announced this morning?
Yes.
How did I miss that?
I don't know.
I was probably brushing my teeth. Listen, so that bonding curve, if you pull up the bonding curve on your laptop right now or your desktop, that's going to show where it kind of drops down. It was like 10,000 for a few days, drops down, jumps back up to 7,500 for a few days, and then falls, because everyone that I've been talking to, I've been like, wait for it to jump back up to 7,500, right?
Yes. So
now
spread
cash
the word.
and crypto is 10,000 points every day of the 90 days.
Yeah.
Wow, that's huge.
A lot of people might say, Brandon, that's crazy. That's crazy that you guys would do that, because it's just going to inflate the supply to oblivion. Well, let me ask you something. We're at the bottom of the bear market. We've had mass exodus in terms of the community. Not a lot of people have a lot of money to throw around here. We don't have a tremendous amount of wallets that have donated for this. The amount that we have is on pace, average-wise, with Pulse Chain and PulseX sacrificers, like per person, which is cool. We just don't have a high volume here. Here's what we're saying to people. If you believe in this, if you've actually donated to the TNM, and if you supported this from the beginning, we want you guys to be the foundation of this project moving forward. We want you guys to be the loudest fans. We want you guys to be the folks who are the staking class. We want you guys. The community is what matters. And Matt and I understand that. All right. We love this community. We love Hexkins. We love Pulse Chain. We love Richard Hart. And we just want to bless everybody together. We want everybody to win here. We want everybody to win on Pulse Chain. And we believe that you guys are the best ambassadors and stewards of that. Does that make sense?
Wow, that's incredible.
Nice.
That's really cool.
Yeah, Matt, and you can donate USDC or cash, just to let you guys know. Crypto Heartbeat wants to hop on here. If you want to give him a link, feel free to.
Yes, I sent him a link already. Let me see if he's down here. Nope, we just have your screen share. I'll send him another link, or I've DM'd him one on Twitter. If you can see that one, I'll just send it again.
To be fair, too, people may not find about like Texan token until next bull run. So too.
They're going to enter Pulse Chain with the big question mark. They're going to go searching what's going on with this thing, and so it's going to be an incredible opportunity. Really, really incredible opportunity. So let's see here. Who was it earlier? Simba said.
Sorry, we're 22 behind here. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. On top of you, X-Ray.
I knew I knew that had I spoke long enough and gave out enough misinformation, I would lure Matt into the stream against his will. So welcome, Matt. It looks like you're just chilling on the porch there.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it, guys, and I apologize. It's so.
Take off the banner, X-Ray.
You got it. Boom.
This is awesome though, guys. I'm excited actually, X-Ray, that you got the. We've been talking about this for a long time. And we've been so excited about the tokenomics. And so for you to see that, the whole point of this is an endowment is meant to secure your future. And so one of the things I just want to clarify is that what we did is we looked at Hex, and we looked at the things that create cash flow. And that's where the scraping mechanism comes in from the endowment token. But the thing that we did differently, because, one of the things that is an issue in Hex is the fact that it has to recurse through days. The reason that Hex gets to an overflow at about 150 years is because essentially it has to go back and recurse through days of what the T-share rate was. And so one of the ways to avoid that was to actually take the daily rate and embed it in the contract. And so if you actually look in the contract, you will see the daily rate in all the decimals out 18 spaces of what the yield is per day. And so when you do an end stake, it is only doing a math problem with 3 variables versus having to recurse through 5,555 days. And so that changes the nature of the cost for end staking, but also it means that you don't have to stake for a certain number of years. You could literally choose the number of days. So the toggle that is on the D app,
years or days,
change to days, and you could say, I want to choose the number of days, and you can play around with that to determine what you want. But at the end of the day, the real point of this is we want the people of these communities that we're tokenizing to have an abundance, right? You guys are helping us, and you're saying, hey, I get it. We know crypto. We want to stimulate this token with people that are in crypto who get it. But this is really for people in Texas to unlock an abundance of resources so that they can accomplish their goal. The next one's going to be in the Philippines. And so, this is really, I believe, is a means by which we can unlock abundance in these already galvanized communities. Those that are us that are in crypto, I think that's just a bonus. You get to see something at the beginning, be a part of it, and you get it way before a lot of the people in the Texas nationalist movement do. But these are the kind of tokenomics that have made Hexicans unbelievably wealthy. Those are the parameters with this, scraping function mechanism. And so, if it wasn't for Richard Hart and his, teaching us the tenets of great tokenomics, we wouldn't be here. And so, but this is we didn't fork anything. This is handcrafted code, and it has been certified by CertiK. So I just wanted to, clarify those things.
Right. And did you get a chance to look at the updated numbers on my chart there?
Yeah, they're correct. Yeah.
They're ridiculous. Well, they're absolutely insane.
Well, but hang on a second. They're insane just like Hex is insane. If you do the work, let's not in a way, it's very much like the fact that what is the number one thing you want to do in a token? And Richard's taught us all this. Buying and holding. You want people, you need more buyers than sellers. And how do you incentivize people to hold? Give them an incentive, give them yield. And so this whole proof of stake mine, if you think about when he talked about a better Bitcoin, what is Bitcoin? But it is a supply that will be mined out. And so Brandon and I looked at this and we said, why don't we give a gift of this gold mine to this community? Like, let's grab a gold mine. We can't make it have value, but they can. Let's give them this gold mine. And for the next 50 to 100 years, they're going to be able to tap into this and reserve and earmark this resource. But just like Bitcoin, when it's all mined out, it's all mined out. It's the same principle. But the key is to get people to hold by providing them an incentive.
Awesome. And it actually changes the whole strategy that I had earlier, because I had one strategy, which was basically the take profit strategy, right? So like you let it grow and then you start scraping one of them at a time. And then you have this annuity basically. Yep. And then the other strategy is instead of taking profit, you're restaking. And I think because I realized that eventually these are all going to be earmarked and the stakes are limited, you might be a little more aggressive sooner than the first 7 years and start scraping and restaking, because that's how it works. That's the best way to stake your claim on the future, right?
Yeah, one of my hopes is, and one of the things that was at the core of this when we first started doing tokenomics discussions, is I believe that there are going to be nonprofit organizations who have existing endowment dollars who want to expose themselves to crypto. And I would love to see them say, hey, we're cool with 5%. Thank you. We don't need 1,881%. We will put a portion of our endowment into this and we'll scrape monthly for cash flow. If you can guarantee us 5%, you had us at 5%. And so one of the things that this is it mimics the thing that they're used to. I mean, they're very happy with 5% a year. And so I think a lot of people are going to look at this and say, hey, if I've got a big enough bag, this is cash flow for me to operate. And that was one of the intentions.
Yeah, well, and let me drop a little bit of alpha on you guys right here. When I realized how susceptible crypto is right now to the 4-year cycle, right? You got not only the election cycle of the US that usually brings the stock market up and down with it, but you've also got the halvening of Bitcoin that drags all of crypto up and down with it, right? And so when a lot of us were creating our hex stakes, we were just doing it based on life, right? We were thinking, okay, in 5 years, I want to pay off my house. In 10 years, I want to quit my job, whatever it is. But we weren't thinking about that I certainly was not thinking about the 4-year cycle. And this drawdown that we've been dragged down with, the 95% down in hex that we've had, took me by surprise. And it really shouldn't, because I've been around to see 3 of these cycles, right? But I thought, oh man, hex is different, hex is special. And it really is. And I think over time, you'll see it decorrelate from the rest of the market. But until it does, the Texan token offers you the flexibility to scrape on those bull years, right?
Yeah. And Hector, could you share your screen again just to reinforce one of these little concepts to show people?
Yeah, which one do you want? The restake or let's just do the restake. It's the same on both sides there.
Well, the staking screen.
Yeah. Oh, this one or the other one?
The one that I have shared.
Oh, I think I got rid of it. Let me see if I've still got it. Here we go. There we go.
Yeah. So if you were curious about this little toggle right here, this is showing years. So you can quickly put in your amount and then you can choose a year just for ease of use. And it will calculate how much yield that you will earn, how many tokens you will earn. Now, if you want to do days, all you have to do is turn this toggle off, and then it will give you, you can go ahead and just input the amount of days. Matt, I think this defaults to 4, correct? Minimum?
So 4 what?
4 days.
Yeah, so you can just type in the number of days and adjust it for, if you wanted to see, because people are going to use this like a calculator. So they might say, all right, what does 10 years look like? Or, whether they do years or days, it's up to them. But, when you look at the contract, it's all actually factored on a day rate, and it does it based on the timestamp. And so very much like you see the clock tick over for hex each day, it's got to calculate that T-share rate. In this scenario, that T-share rate is actually static, and it's in the contract as a table, and that table appears in the white paper. And so you can actually see the daily rate, and then there's a multiplier for the number of years. So as you go,
I've got you. Yeah. Let me put that on there. Here it is. Here's that table. And this is daily rate year 1, daily rate year 2, daily rate year 3. And you can kind of see the annual return, which is the daily rate times 365.25 with the interest and yield each time there. So all that whole chart's there.
So let me clarify this. Can you stake every 4 days, or can you only stake yearly?
Well, technically, you can stake. You can have an unlimited number of stakes, and then you can unstake, or in this case, scrape on a daily basis. But you technically have to go at least 1 full day in order to, because day 2 is really the first day of interest. Mm-hmm. So theoretically, if let's say you staked for 10 days, you could scrape on day 3. And so you could scrape every single day, but it would be such a tiny amount of Texan token, and it would cost you gas fees. So a daily scrape doesn't make sense, but there's nothing limiting people from a daily scrape. But I think typically what people have wanted in the past is if you look at people who, for example, have a big bag of hex, they create ladders based on when they need cash flow. And so they will either end stake and then take off that yield and maybe sell the yield and then restake the principal. In this scenario, you don't have to do that. You leave your principal stake locked up and you scrape your interest only. But when you scrape your interest, you get set back to day 1. So it reserves the maximum, but every time you scrape, it recalculates and refactors how much. And it does re-add it to the treasury each time that you do scrape.
Wow. Yeah, and that's actually why on my chart I broke it up into 10 stakes, because that would give the first stake that you scraped 10 years to recover. And I think that puts it back up to 151%.
Yeah.
So if you were to scrape them all, you'd get a bunch. And then the last 4 years or 5 years of your 22, you could scrape 151% of several of them again.
Well, one of the things also that drove this is my great aunt was a treasurer in a town outside of Detroit. And when we were born, she got us these really great bonds. And it was a significant amount of money for us kids. But she was thinking about, grandkids, 20 years later. I think a lot of what this scraping function allows, and the fact that you've got the ability to create unlimited stakes, is that 22 years is a long time. And I think there's a lot of reluctance to people to say, I don't know that I can lock that up. The scraping function provides you basically a little bit of an out if you need to get capital out. But I think about kids, I think about grandkids, I think about multi-generational things. And you go, what is $100 worth of Texan for a grandkid that's just born 22 years from now? I don't know what the price appreciation is going to look like. I certainly know what the yield's going to look like. But that's the exciting part, is that this is really something you can plan, your future. So I think a lot of people will create stakes for different purposes, different people, and then they'll probably have something that creates essentially cash flow for them.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of flexibility here, which is really what caught my eye for when it comes to game theory and how you want to play this. And so if you got a little bit, let's say that you can't afford to donate and you simply claim your free claim, you can use obviously time to kick that out as far as possible, and at least get something going in that. So it really does offer the opportunity for almost anyone to participate at some level, which I think is really, really great. You guys did that.
Well, and Brandon and I, we talked a lot about this idea of, give away what you want to receive. I think people are going to be really surprised, and I think Brandon will back me up on this. We believe that the best people to airdrop are people within our community who they understand the delayed gratification, they understand holding. And in my opinion, I think we need to err on the side of being generous, because what makes the Texan token so attractive is the staking component. And so there will be people who, when this goes live and there's a market price, will dump it for whatever, for a couple bucks. But I think people are going to be surprised how much Texan token they'll receive in the claim. It'll be even for anyone who has either a hex stake or a pulse sacrificer or a pulse X sacrificer. But I think it's important to be able to airdrop enough that staking actually is beneficial to them. Do you want to add anything to that, Rags? Because that was very important to you as well.
No, I mean, I think you pretty much said it, man. And I kind of touched on it earlier. It is what it is. Now, I'll say this too. I said this earlier on the stream. We always got tricks up our sleeves, don't we, Matt?
Oh yeah.
So this could, I would encourage people to participate. And you might be happy in the future. That's very important.
Now, also, like you said, the community of Hexicans are really good evangelists and missionaries when it comes to educating their friends and families and complete strangers in the grocery line. And so we, Rags and I were talking about going down to Texas and trying to start some educational endeavors down there. What would you say are some of the biggest collections or the most concentration of TMN folks in Texas if we were going down there for like 10 days and hit some cities up?
Well, I think it's definitely in the more populated areas. The cool thing about the infrastructure of the TNM is they can tell you exactly, what the attendance has been at their meetings. There's a lot of different, Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, Austin, San Antonio, all the big cities are obviously key. And then, pretty much every county in Texas has essentially a chapter of the TNM, if you will, but has a leader. Not all of them have the same attendance, but there's a lot of different ways to educate. We've been on leadership calls. Obviously, those people have been educated, but at this point in time, a lot of it's very basic things like misconceptions about what blockchain.
Yeah, it's very mystic. I actually spent 10 minutes at a barbecue the other night explaining to someone not much older than me that all crypto is just an Excel spreadsheet. It's all a ledger. And he owns a business and he was really having trouble thinking about a ledger. And finally I was like, okay, so you've got a dry erase board at your office, right? He goes, well, yeah, of course. Yeah, so you've got who owes what projects you got going on. You got your money on that whiteboard. He goes, yeah. I go, that's all the crypto is. Only it's not on a physical whiteboard. It's just on the internet. That literally took 10 minutes just to explain that concept to somebody. So once you strip away all the stuff and break it down, a lot of people will be really comfortable, going step by step into this stuff. But it still is very, very much a hand-holding exercise, a very individual one. So,
and you've been doing this quite a bit for a long time, Hexray. You know better than most.
Well, I'd like to say I got way better at explaining it, but I think I got worse because I over explain. I want to feed them the whole. I want to open the fire hose to give them a sip, right? But the truth is, you guys are also working with a community in the Philippines, right? So that's an excuse for me to go to the Philippines. I'd really like to encourage you guys to onboard a community in the Maldives and Monaco. If you guys could get that on the list, I'd really appreciate it because I can write that off in taxes. So let's get that going, Matt. All right.
Well, yeah, that's something that folks. If Texas gets this on the ballot in the referendum in November of 2020, there are a lot of independence movements at the time of unrest. So, Brandon and I really do want to unlock. We want to do hundreds of thousands of people at a time into the Pulse chain. Selfishly because we hold Pulse and Pulse X. But, this is the way I think things are going to be mainstream is, the hardest thing to do is to build community. People are already galvanized around a cause. So we can, the Philippines is next. From that, who knows where else it goes, but I have a feeling we will be a part of other independence movements across the world. And that to me is so exciting because from debt slavery when they can unlock this kind of a.
Your audio is breaking up a little bit there, but I did hear you mention you guys are trying the goal of the TNM is to get the vote on the ballot in November 2023. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was just letting Brandon take that one because of my audio.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the entire goal. We want to help give them the resources through this donation phase to be able to use that money and apply it in such a way that guarantees success to get that vote on the ballot in 2023. That's the entire purpose of this donation phase right now.
Yeah, and the goal you guys said was how much is the financial goal to try and get that done?
Well, a lot of people have a lot of different numbers. I mean, in politics, though, I mean, it could be 50 to 75 million. I think personally, if they had 25 million over the course of the next year, that they would be successful. But the way the political winds are moving, I mean, there may not have to be that much promotion. But yeah, it's expensive to do. And certainly, we don't think that all is going to come from the donation phase. However, as we help unlock value for their supporters, it creates opportunities for them to do fundraising. So, yeah, and there's a lot of people in the Texas, sphere that have significant dollars, and so the oil and gas industry would certainly benefit from an independent Texas.
Awesome. And crypto is it's a new frontier, right? Like, imagine all the ways that people use the internet for information and freedom when it was adopted on a larger scale. And this is kind of like the next level. This is just the internet of money, right? And so we can do a lot of cool things with it. And the Hexagon community really is special. Like we say that all the time, but it's true. It's a really special community. I think it's number one. And Richard Hart said many times it's the thing he's most proud of out of everything he's done. He's the proudest of the community. So,
yeah, man, he set the pavers for all these projects like this that are launching on Pulse Chain. So, it's what's so exciting about Texan. And Texas itself is massive. And, it has the spirit for this kind of internet money. For sure. Once people connect and they realize it and they really understand the tech, they will grasp onto this like quicker than they can get their hands on it. So it's going to be very interesting how this plays out over time. It's going to be beautiful to watch.
Yeah, awesome. Is there anything?
Yeah. So.
Sorry to cut you off. I was going to say, is there anything else that I've missed about the Texan token or any new announcements we can bring out?
Other than the 10,000 to 1, that's big. So we're opening up the 10,000 to 1 for everybody. Okay, from here on out and retroactive. So you can donate crypto, you can donate USDC or cash right now and receive that 10,000 to 1.
Wow, that's big. And how many days are left? It said on that screen right there. There's about 50.
Yeah, I'll give you. I can give you an exact number here in just a second. I want to make sure I tell you correctly. There it is. So every single morning in the Texan token chat, we have Samantha. She updates everybody as soon as she gets back with a nice little post. And I'm always, Matt, do you look at that in the mornings at all? When you want to know how many days we have left? I'm like, where's Samantha? So she says,
there's a top of the page as well. So if you go to Texas,
38, day 38, we're on. And then in terms of how long we have left here, let's go back. Yeah, we've got 52 days, 1 hour and 47 minutes left.
Wow. Yeah. So that'll be really interesting to see how this takes off. That definitely leaves room for the whales to step in and jockey for those top 3 and those top 10 positions. So let the games begin.
Well, I just want to say thanks to you, X-Ray. Leadership is so important. And when you do something like this, you put yourself out there, you dox yourself, you spend the money, think, hey, we're building something special. And you don't know if people are like, yeah, this is great, like you think it is. And Nate, I really appreciate you being willing to share that. We're building a really cool community of people. And I'm just, we got an incredible team, people around the clock, and there's so many more people than me and Rags, but we're getting very excited. And it's not just tech, right? It's the fact that we're going to help people that are struggling, get ahead. I mean, that to me is the most exciting part.
Yeah. And if you guys want to go to the Texan Telegram, I believe it's Texan_token, correct?
Yeah, Texan _token. Texan token.
Yeah, and everyone there, including Crypto Heartbeat, has been very patient with me when I've given out misinformation. So
No underscore. No underscore, by the way.
No underscore?
Texan token.
Okay. See, just like that. See how nice he was? Right there. So jump on there, ask your questions. Immutable's awesome in there. Grumpy Coder's awesome on there. David Lee has been a lot of help. Samantha is relentless. You know, she's everywhere. So yeah, it's a great bleed over from the Hexagon community. And I'm just really excited to see where this goes from here. So anything else, you guys? Where can people, besides the Telegram chat, you can also go to Texan.cc is the website for donations and more updates, right? And then also the Testnet, you can get on there and play with your, you can just go ahead and stake your fake Texan tokens, right?
Yep. And you can also go to Twitter, Twitter at Texan_token. That was the underscore you were looking for there, buddy.
Oh, there it was. Cedric says, "Don't praise rags." And then, of course, follow Nate Stakes. Get his subscribers pumped up. We need to get him to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible, so people can send him silly super chat numbers and bump him up. Really appreciate him coming on stream and sharing this with us. He ran home right after work, last minute notice. Appreciate that. I appreciate Heartbeat coming on his porch and correcting us and bringing out some more information. And then, you know, Rags, if you could give me a wrench, I'd really appreciate that. But hey, anyways,
I do want to show people this little screen real quick. I think this is important. So this is the unofficial numbers of who have actually donated on chain. So this is going to kind of give you guys, whoever's out there, a ballpark of what you could be shooting for unofficially here. So the number one wallet right now has donated about $200,000. And remember, top 10, you will receive at least a double on your points. At least a double. Okay, so you know 1, 2, and 3 you're going to get 150%, and 4 through 10 will get 100%. So just keep that in mind, folks. These are the unofficial positions right now. People are jockeying for that. So it could be a good opportunity for somebody in chat. Just wanted to point it out.
Yeah, I'm imagining you're going to see a couple of those addresses bump up a little bit.
Yeah,
in the next few days to jockey for position.
Absolutely.
And one thing that we have done is if you go, Brandon, to Texan.cc, you're going to find the top 10 folded in. So the top cash donors are in that list. So this is a third-party list. We have the full list on the site under the About tab, and it's the top 10 donors. It includes cash. So if you really want to see the most accurate, because we're not sharing cash, Hexray,
right?
Doesn't want to share those for political reasons, and so you'll be able to see whether it's crypto or cash, and we're keeping that up to date as far as the top 10. But that's going to be the most updated list.
And it is shareable at the bottom there, Hexray.
Yeah, in the it's under the About tab on the website.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Let's see here. It's the one right there. Boom. So these are the top 10, including cash, or this is just the crypto.
This includes cash. So
this one includes cash as well. Okay.
Yep. You'll see that underneath them.
Wow. Awesome. And you guys just opened the merch store today, right? So if people want to represent the Texan token, you guys have some hats, shirts, underwear. Do you guys have underwear yet?
We don't have underwear yet, but one of our guys actually he got the hat today. It's high quality, just like we wanted. You can actually select different colors. You can have like a white and black theme and this and that. We got Hexray, we got these leggings for you. That was important too. We got.
I like to move around freely. I like to be comfortable when I'm at home.
Well, we got the Texan here on the small of the back, so that should be good for you.
Sweet.
Now, I actually really like this.
There
hoodie.
We go. Now we're talking. I'm a hoodie man.
And guys, if you know hoodies, I think Champion makes some of the best hoodies out there. So this is high quality. It's gonna last you. Looks really, really solid. I really like it. It's kind of almost like a camo feel, but not really.
Great woodland.
Yeah, woodland, urban of some sort. We got the T's here. We got the Texan in the back. We got the Lone Star flag there, and it says "Secure Your Future Texan." Different colors, different options here as well. So, black and athletic Heather, interesting, outstanding. So there you go, folks. Got some options. Texanshop.com.
Boom. Boom. Awesome. Well, again, thanks for coming on here. Thanks for everyone in chat. I really appreciate it. All of my viewers, all of my subscribers, I really can't tell you how much I appreciate that. The YouTube is the best way to scale information that I know of, because even on my lower channels or lower viewed videos, it would take me weeks and months to sit down with people individually and share that much information. So take advantage. If you guys are thinking about streaming and you're part of the Texan community or the Hexcan community, do it. Pop up a microphone and a camera, because I guarantee there's people out there that you're going to reach that are going to understand it the way that you explain things, and they're going to relate to you and your story. And the bigger the better. We're just add to the family. So thanks again, everyone, and we're gonna call this good, and we'll be back when we have more information to share, or if not, we'll see you in Vegas in about 2 weeks.
Yep.
Right. So, all right, bye guys, and we'll talk to you soon.